Hi everybody, Johnny Wilson here, and we're talking about running progressions and how do we return to running following injury. So one of the most hazardous activities that we have is running. A lot of injuries occur when you run, so you're either at high speed or explosive, or maybe it's a repetitive injury and so on and so forth. So running is a skill, and it's like swimming or tennis or basketball, and sometimes we kind of forget about the skills that are involved in it. However, running is something that's very, very close to my heart. I love it. I go out running with my dog Jack every morning. So if that was to be taken away from me, just from a mental health point of view, I would struggle. So it's something that I really work hard on, and returning athletes to running is something that we do in a phased approach. So in today's video, we're talking about phase 1, return to running progression. So I am early rehab at this stage. I've let's take any injury for example, and let's take a hamstring injury or lateral ankle sprain or a simple knee injury or a calf injury. I might have had my injury 3 days ago. So for the first 3 days I'm in acute management. So I'm protecting in the area, I'm relatively resting the area, I'm maybe elevating the area, maybe it's a little bit swollen and so on and so forth. So I'm about day 4 now. Okay, day 4, day 5. And what I've got is a soft surface. I've got an aero floor here. You could use cushions, you could use whatever you want, double up a couple of quilts, whatever you've got. But I've got one of these. So it's a very, very soft, squidgy surface. So it's called an aero floor. And we're going to be doing on the spot jogging. So we're not moving forwards or we're not moving backwards. So we're on the spot, we're in situ. And I'm using a soft surface, so that's squidgy surface. And I'm just working on my running mechanics. Now what I'm going to do, if I can tolerate this, okay, so this all comes down to pain levels. So if you're able to tolerate it, this is when we begin our phase 1 progression. So if I start off like that and the injury I've got is a little bit too sore, then I'm not ready. So I might be in the pool if I've got access to the pool, and I might try exactly the same thing in the pool, on the spot jogging. Okay, now it's COVID-19 at the moment, so nobody's got access to pools and so on and so forth. So if you're starting your running journey, if you haven't run before, using a soft surface is a great way to start if you haven't got access to the pool. So I'm on a soft surface, could be 2 pillows, could be 2 cushions, could be a few cushions, could be whatever. You could take off the sofa, the soft part of the sofa. So, and I'm on the spot, and all I'm doing is I'm doing a little jog like that. Now I'm trying to be very, very light on my feet. So I'm working on force absorption. So can my lower limbs, can my legs take the force that's going through the ground? Now, the progression here is that I should be able to, can I tolerate 30 seconds on the spot jogging on a soft surface? And I come off. If my pain levels are too much, maybe I might start off in 10 seconds. Maybe I might start off in 5 seconds. Ideally, what I want to be able to do is work towards 30 seconds and 6 sets. So it's 30 seconds on, rest for 30 seconds, 30 seconds on again, and you do that 6 times. So the moment you're able to tolerate 30 seconds jogging on the spot on a soft surface, take a break for 30 seconds, and you're able to tolerate that 6 times, you're able to move on to phase 2. And phase 2, you can check it out in the link below for phase 2 return to running progression, where we go from a soft surface to building up our tolerance to run on a hard surface. Okay, so progression is the moment you can do it, you move on. So if it takes you 1 session or 2 sessions or 3 sessions to be able to tolerate that, then it really is an individual thing about how you progress. So people talk about, should I progress in 3 sessions? Should I progress in 2 sessions? Should I progress over a week? Well, really it comes down to the task. It's a task criterion based rehabilitation program, which is phased for progressions. So the moment you can achieve the task is the moment that you can move on. Now, one thing that Paulina and myself had discussed before making this video is that During the session, you might not always have a reaction, or you might not have a response. So it's worth checking out how your injury is the next day. So for example, if you wake up the next day and your pain levels are a little bit higher, then maybe you did a bit too much on that day. So for some injuries, it tells you you can get the response 24 hours later. So if my pain levels are worse the next day from that, then I'm not ready to move on to a hard surface. So all the time looking at my pain levels, my level of function, I have an appreciation of days and so on and so forth, but it is a really good way for getting in your progression to... I've lost my train of thought here because Paulina is saying something to me. I'm not sure what she's saying, and now I've lost the complete train of thought. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Phase 1 progression to our phase progression for...
Do you want to mention about some fusion management there as well, Johnny?
Yeah, so with regards to swelling as well, so the next morning, if you have some swelling, so a fusion is swelling within a joint, and swelling is outside the joint. And if your swelling has increased the following day or an hour after the session, then you're probably not able to tolerate that activity. So if I'm jogging on the spot and I'm returning from a knee injury or an ankle injury, and my knee gets a little bit swollen, more swollen, my ankle gets a little bit more swollen an hour after, then I'm probably done a little bit too much. So it might be, you're not able for 30 seconds yet, so bring down the time. It might be going from 6 sets down to 3 sets. And again, you would judge that after the session, either an hour after the session or the next day, so you would check with regards to your swelling. So that was a good interruption there by Paulina. So thank you, Paulina, for that. Okay, guys, phase 1. Hope you enjoyed the video.